Episode number 95 with Mike Sneideman. Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
And this is Mike Sneideman.
And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your tweets. Thank you. So how the heck are you, Mike?
And thank you for having me on, Steve. After the first 17 people you asked said no thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Getting ready to head up to where are you guys playing? Carlos is coming out, and you guys are going to go up to L.A.?
Yeah, there's a tournament at Hawaiian Gardens. There's $100K tomorrow, which is Friday.
Nice.
And we'll see how that goes. Carlos decided not to play.
Oh, he's not going to play?
Well, he's coming, but he's done his research, and I guess in California there's like an extra 30% taxation if you're out of state for poker tournaments.
Okay. And
Carlos is the sort to do research on this.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd just be like a tax deduction for something else and wouldn't be horrible, but, you know, he's all about spending every dollar in the most rational way. So for him to save that money to sign up for another win tournament is the way to go, I guess, and just, you know, don't play out here.
Oh, so he's not even coming out?
No, he is coming out.
Oh, he is. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna probably go to Oceans on Sunday and watch football and play. And Carlos is driving 5 hours just to get a free breakfast.
Right on.
Oceans 11 has their free breakfast club. Anyone between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. there gets breakfast free, regardless of what level you're playing.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, he'll get a free meal out of it. That's very Carlos.
So how about you, Steve? What's going on here? You playing any poker, man? If this is a poker podcast, you're right.
I know. Even
though you don't play poker, I know.
I know. But I had just had my second wedding anniversary, and I flew out to Dallas to be with my wife for that day, and I ended up getting sick. So the flight back was miserable. I was one of those annoying people on the plane, you know, was just to have a handful of sticky tissues and wiping my nose, and it was awful. Got home, went to sleep last night about 6 at night, woke up at 4 or 5 this morning, and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still a little snotty, but not nearly what I was. And
right.
But I'm feeling better, and I have been playing a little bit at my local casino. I've kind of gotten back into that. Their tournaments, they're still not the greatest, but the competition is so slim, and I'm really enjoying playing live again. I think I don't feel like I kind of most of the time I get that out of my system when I'm out at the WSOP. I play so much live that I just can't wait to get back to online. But This year it's been different. I would rather go to the local card room and play either cash or tournaments just to kind of wet my beak, you know. And I know it's probably like more profitable for me to just grind 4 tables online, but I'm having so much more fun at the card room. It's kind of hard to get away from it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you know, it's funny. Every time you talk to me, my entire poker life plan changes, but I've had a rough stretch of at live cash.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, I'm setting these goals here. I said I'm profiting 30,000 on Bovada by the end of the year here.
Yeah.
Which of course means heavy volume. And yeah, we'll see if I stick to it. Although I final tabled 2 ignition tournaments last night.
Nice.
$100 7,500 turbo. And the big one, the 25K, I final tabled last night.
Nice. What was your profit after both those?
Not enough. Like $700 for the night. I crapped out on both of them.
What'd you get? Like 7th and 9th or something? Or?
Yeah, I think 6th or 7th in the 25K, and the other one I can't remember. But
okay.
Yeah, a few people. I was twitching. A few people are on there. A couple, you know, maybe questionable decisions with those 7 to 12 big blind stacks, which is everything. You really have to know those in and out if you want to profit on ignition.
Especially at final tables. Yeah.
So
and
maybe
ignition too. By the time you get to the final table, like you're doing well if you've got 15 to 20 bigs.
Yeah, both of these were. We were on the final table bubble for like 30 or 40 minutes. It was like ridiculous. So there was
Meanwhile,
like,
the blinds are just going up, and
yeah, I mean, it really was like, I had like 9 big blinds and I was fourth in chips when the final table started or something. I can't remember. I'd have to take a look. But if we study again soon, maybe that'll be one I can get a little help on.
Yeah. I like what we're doing about setting like we did before the WSOP. We just set a day, and whoever can make it makes it, and if not, because otherwise it seems like it takes us 3 weeks to get together to have a session.
No, that doesn't work. Yeah, just have 1 or 2 days a week, which is set time, and hopefully, as long as 2 people make it, then it's somebody's getting something out of it.
Somebody's getting something out of it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make this Sunday again, but I'm sure you got. But the ones after that, I should have like 3 Sundays in a row, off in a row. So it'll go in waves like that. But Mr. Kicks is feeling better.
I was going to ask about Mr. Kick because I saw a picture of him on Twitter, and I'm like, I thought he was in a burlap bag at the bottom of the ocean by now.
I was afraid I was going to have to put him down, but I think these shots are working. Basically, what I've done is I've given him insulin shots over the last few months, and he never would have been alive at this point if it wasn't for my wife. But gave him these shots and gave his pancreas a rest, and now I'm weaning him off the shots. He was 2 a day, now he's 1 a day, and I'm kind of skipping every other day now, and he seems to be doing fine. I tweeted a picture of it. If you go at HeadsUpPoker, or I don't even know my own Twitter, at HeadsUpPodcast. I tweeted some pictures. There's a blood trail. I was going to put the gopher, and I thought, no, that's just too gross. So I put the blood trail leading out. I went outside, and I saw this. I saw blood outside, and I was in a hurry. I had to make a plane, and I was packing, and I saw blood outside by the trash cans. You know, the outdoor trash cans where you take the trash. And I was like, huh, that's kind of odd. And I'm like, did I cut my hand last night or something? And I'm like, no. And then I walk back inside, and I'm busy packing, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, you need to address this. There's fucking blood in your backyard, And I go back out, and I'm like, well, my neighbor came over yesterday afternoon and fed the cat. Maybe he cut himself? And then I went back inside, and I'm like, no, there was too much blood for that. And then I went back out, and then I see this blood trail leading to the orange tree, and I'm like, and then I see the dead gopher, and I'm like, that makes a lot more sense, and I feel a lot better now. But so yeah, he's feeling better. He's catching gophers again, and seems to be doing pretty well. So
okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Has Mr. Kicks's feelings towards you changed? Does he sense you're the one who is slightly more indifferent to his survival than the wife?
I think he can definitely feel that. I think he can definitely feel that.
I was joking, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he can. When she comes home, he runs up to her and she grabs him and gives him a hug. When I come home, he kind of just knows that he's there for food. But we do have these moments. It's probably every other day where I'll be sitting down out in the backyard or something, just relaxing after the end of the day with a beer. And he'll come up to me, and we kind of give each other this look, and then I'll pet him for about half an hour or 45 minutes, and by the end of it, he's on his back and kind of falling asleep. So we do have moments like that, but with my wife, it's like every 10 or 15 minutes, and with me, it's one long session every other day. Right. So we do have a connection there, and definitely, since I took him out the first time and showed him the gopher holes, and I was like, look, dude, you need to earn your keep here. And the next day, he killed one for me. And I feel like now he's kind of back in that mode, at least. For a couple months, he was just sulking around. And the neighbor said he saw him lying in the middle of the street. And I'm like, does the cat even know where he is? Or is he just like trying to end it? Or what? What's going on, But yeah, he seems to be back. So that's good.
It's like listening to 24 hours straight of this podcast. People just wonder if they have the strength to go on.
I think it's very similar to that.
Just maybe should I just lay down in the street or, but then they rouse themselves and go hunt for a gopher and go get back on with life. Speaking of people who listen to this podcast, I got to give a shout out to one of the funniest things I've heard here last night in the Twitch stream. Mm-hmm. Caddy Kev, who listens to the podcast all the time. Well, first of all, he complimented the one with Alex. He really enjoyed that.
Oh, good.
But then he was like, Steve's like a puppy chasing butterflies. And it's actually, I could actually see your head attached to a little puppy dog. And I was visualizing it. If I was a Photoshop guy, that would be good. But I'm like, that's the perfect, Steve's just a little puppy having fun, running around, talking about poker.
That is pretty similar. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a dog chasing a squirrel. Squirrel. Flashy light. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes. Alex is coming back on the podcast, by the way. I messaged him, and he's like, yeah, whenever you need me on. So we got to bring him on.
Oh, Alex?
Yeah, Fitzgerald?
Yeah. We gotta let Joe LaPinta down softly. Says, you're only the second biggest brain we have on here. You know what I mean? Sorry, Joe, you're unnecessary. Oh, by the way, here's a Christmas card 4 months early. No, Joe, we want back on too for sure. He's great.
Yeah.
What was I?
You excited for this tournament coming up?
Yeah, we'll see.
It's a 440 buy-in, is what you said?
Yeah, it's all about just making money at this point. I still feel
that is tempting. Man, I might have to meet you down there.
I'm guessing. It's a
2-day event, right?
Yes, I still don't know enough about like where the tournaments are soft and strong. What's a good tournament?
What's the vig? $40?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
10%,
then that's not bad.
Not bad, and then 3% probably taken out for the staff.
What are the blind levels? Are they hour or?
I know you start with a real big stack, like 25K in chips. But I think they're 30-minute levels, at least on day one.
Okay, maybe day two they go up to.
So it moves fast, but you do start with a big stack of chips, so you can sit back for for first few hours, anyways, and just kind of study the table.
Those are one of those. If you double early, you can make a really deep run. Yeah.
I hope so. That's the. I can't remember if we were on since I cashed at the Commerce, their main event, the 1650 there.
Oh yeah, you were playing there with Scott Stewart, right?
Yeah. Oh, maybe we discussed that. Scott won the thing. So
yeah. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but I think we talked about it over the phone.
Yeah, man, it's funny. Both of us were talking. Hey, have you ever had a 6-figure score? He's like, both of us are no, and of course he went on and won the thing.
That day he went on and got ring number 3.
Good for him.
We were just talking about him last week on the podcast.
Yeah, I heard that. He's just a boss, man. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. This guy's just fucking shaking and moving. Good for him. We got to have him back on.
I thought he was just another pudgy guy with a beard, but apparently he's a pudgy guy with a beard who's great at poker. So.
Yeah, who knows how to play. Yeah. Right on.
So I don't know what else is. Hey, Steve, did you do Boy Scouts when you were a kid?
I made one meeting. I went there, and I think my dad or my mom got me a Boy Scout shirt out of the thrift store, and we went down there, and it was a bunch of kids, and they were having a mud fight, and like it just didn't seem. It was total fucking chaos. There was no order to it, and I lasted one meeting, and that was it. So no.
Okay.
You?
Well, I didn't. I just took Jonah to my first camping for my first Boy Scout outing.
Oh.
He's really into that.
Oh, cool.
And he's really into the fact that they, build things and learn things and all that. We went to a little information meeting, whatever you call it, to watch the other kids, and they built their little baking soda rockets flying in the air. My son was very excited. So, but Boy Scouts, from the parents' point of view, it has to be about the worst activity because there's no way to sit it out. You have to participate.
I mean, you just have to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, my idea of a good activity is you just show up at the soccer field, put some cleats on the kid, and sit on the side and just text your friends and just roll the ball out there and tell them to run around in circles.
Yeah.
But the Boy Scouts is, this first camping outing. First of all, cost me probably $600 plus because I had to go buy buy a tent and a couple sleeping bags, and I had to buy his outfit, which the kid will probably keep growing out of every 11 days.
Yeah.
And, just coming down. So that was, of course, it's like the whole experience was like emasculating to me because all these Boy Scout dads are like real men who know to go out in the woods. And I needed help just to put the tent together, which is probably about the simplest thing. And, I'm just like out of place. And it's just, you know what I mean? It demands a certain, anyways, we'll see as we go forward. a lot of the activities take place on Sundays, and of course the Sunday grind. I told Jonah's mother. I said we can always change the schedules, but I can't have them on Sundays.
Yeah, that's just
that's where all the value is. I mean, if you want me to pay the bills here, I just have to be able to play poker on Sundays. I really should make the same deal with her and say I need Friday nights too, because that's the one day at the casino where the cash games are just so good. Because the 1025 is running, so all the top pros are not even near the game, and of course everybody's coming in with their paycheck, and all the casual players are there.
Yeah.
So I have to think about that. But anyways, I mean, the Boy Scout, my son loves it, and I'll have to persist. But it's already a bunch of activities down the road, including a regatta race where we got to build a boat, and of course they do all those fundraiser stuff where at least a couple times a month they're going to expect you to be by the side of the road selling coffee or whatever, little fundraisers.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Steve. Whatever. I've got problems.
That doesn't sound like much.
All the kids were like new Jonah's in my name, and the two Jonah's like the two of us didn't know anyone's name. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's just.
He's all, oh, hey, Mike, how you doing? You're like, yeah.
Ignatius. Oh wait. No, it's my name's Mike too. I'm like, oh, that should have been easy.
So how you been? How's Jonah doing? You're like, God, do I even know who this guy is?
But anyways, it is funny though how you and Carlos are both. I don't think it's too strong to say anti-fatherhood, not just don't want to have kids, almost like, but Carlos is, his situation's different because of, his dad and that whole, the reason he is, but basically just, he would have been horrified by this camping trip. Just having to be subservient to like the group needs and just the amount of investment of time to keep your kid happy and, missing poker, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm so out of shape. That was another thing I learned. Like, I was only there for 24 hours or 36 hours, but like I could barely walk afterwards. And I think I only walked like 4 miles, but every time we went for a hill, it was kind of this little house on the top of a clubhouse that we had to hike up to. It was like a 10-minute walk up a hill, but like my hamstrings were like shooting pain. It was, it's pretty comical how, but anyways, it'll be a challenge. And of course, when poker is not going well, it's just very stressful money-wise too. So I'm already the head of the den. They gave me all the patches I needed to get. So right away he had his shirt, with everything on it.
Yeah.
They gave me the wrong den number.
Oh.
So I put the patch on there. So now I have to go back, drive 40 minutes to the Boy Scout shop, and get a new patch for his proper den number.
What's the den number? Like his club number, I guess, or?
Yeah, there's the pack, and then there's the den.
What? Okay, now there's Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. Which one is he in?
Or the Bear Scouts. He's a Bear Scout, which is a kind of Cub Scout.
Okay.
Third graders.
And it's in between Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Yeah, and then okay. Well, I guess it's a Boy Scout. I don't know. Or I guess it's a Cub Scout, but they have different,
They're the Wolf Pack
ones. Yeah, there's like the Wolf Pack and the Bear Pack, and that. I'm still new to this.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's a den number, and there's a pack number, and there's also like the regional number. So you get patches for each. He's got the San Diego Imperial patch, and then he's, I think, pack number 772, and then the den number was wrong, so we got 2 out of 3 right. But
that's not bad. You get your money in on that every time, you'll be ahead.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else is going on here. So anyways, the cash is I lost to a straight flush yesterday. I told you that yesterday.
Oh god. Yeah, go through that one again. What'd you have? Queen 9 of clubs?
Yeah, Queen 9 of clubs, and it got all in on the flop on a Queen 6-4 of clubs flop.
Wait, Queen 6-4? That can't be right if you had Queen 9 of clubs.
Yeah, well, the Queen was not a club.
Oh, okay.
The 6 and the 4 were the clubs. So I had top pair plus the flush draw. And the villain got it all in with 5-3 of clubs. So
he had open-ended straight flush.
Yeah. So I mean, well, the villain didn't do anything wrong, but two of clubs on the river. So He had 8 outs. He actually had a 5 in the turn. So at that point, he had another 5 2-pair outs. So he had 13 outs. So it wasn't like. But when telling the story, naturally, I said all I have to say is queen high flush, no good. Villain river straight flush.
Yes.
6 high straight flush. So that sounds like much more serious.
That draws much more sympathy.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been kind of a week of that sort of shit, which is and like I said, I'm severely underrolled for this game. Alex was talking about that a little bit. What we consider to be, if you really stick to obviously the 200 buy-ins thing, I'm supposed to have 300,000 in the bank, which is I've got about 3% of that.
Yeah.
So like a 5 or 6 buy-in swing, you lose $9,000 over 2 weeks. That's like 25% of my net worth.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a lesson I shouldn't even be playing this level. But like I said, I've been. So this will be interesting too. Maybe Alex or somebody, just in terms of how I would adjust my ranges if I were to buy in for $700 or $800 versus 1,500.
See, what Alex was saying though is he said you make your money on the last 500. When you buy in for 1,500, that last 500 is where you hold on to it and you don't get it in bad, and the amateurs do.
But I was talking to him yesterday, and there's like one pro there who buys in for 7 or he's a prop and he makes $25 an hour anyways.
Okay.
But he's trying to just he buys in for 700 or 800 and he probably wins $300 a night.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can't but basically just at that, I mean at a certain level but you have to be properly bankrolled to win the game. So then the question is where's my hourly better at 2-3 buying in for 400 or buying in for 700 at 5-5? I don't know the answer. But either way, I have to. I mean, I'm used to someone who I don't mind opening. I like to open 6-8 suited from earliest position, and I don't care if I call it a 3-bet because I'm going to steal some pots, and when I hit, I can stack the guy. But if you're buying in for 700, you can't open that for $20 and then call 80.
Yeah.
I mean, like the payoff just isn't good enough. You probably have to even like start folding, under the gun, like 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and maybe even 6s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be like the one kid, like I said, who does this, who's a pro, and he probably. I mean, Alex is like, I bet he makes $50 an hour. And Alex is very dismissive of that number because him and a few other guys can make 100 at this game.
Yeah.
He's not dismissive, but I'm like, obviously $50 an hour would be.
That'd be perfect for you.
Yeah. So, if I'm in there a few times, watch this kid and try to get an idea of what he plays. But like I said, if he's there for 6 hours, and people who are deep stacked, just if they don't like to fold, you know what I mean? So, if he doubles once a night, there's your $50 an hour, you know what I mean? Or win a $300 pot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting going forward. But like I said, my goal is to put in, study and put in massive or a lot of volume on ignition poker. And like I said, I just feel like I'm due to have a big month here. A Doug Leifert type explosion where I win 30K over a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Well, I've got a hand. If you want to go over a little strat.
Okay.
Okay. But first, let me tell you about Elliott Rowe. Yes, he's got. We got a free MP3 that you can listen to. You listen to it before you play. So lately, I've been listening to his MP3s on live tournaments because that's what I've been playing and live cash games. But he's got them for online cash games, online tournaments. You can get a free sample of one. Click on the link in the show notes or go to HeadsUpPoker.Poker and click on the Support Us tab and go down and get your free MP3 from Elliott Rowe. If you do buy one of his, make sure you use the code HUPoker and you'll kick a little bit back to your favorite podcast. I listen to them. Mike listens to them. They're easy. You put them on your phone and you just listen to it out in the car before you go into the casino. So check it out.
Steve even listens to him before having sex with his wife, which I can't quite understand, but
it's kind of the same aspect of like thinking about baseball when you're approaching the precipice. Yes. You know what I mean? But you do this beforehand, so you don't have to think about baseball during. Does that make sense?
Yes. This just a business idea for Elliott. He could expand. It's not all about you. It's not all about you. Try to see if the lady can have fun too. Okay. Anyways,
don't be selfish here. Right on.
spank
Okay.
her, but do it gently.
Yes.
Did you watch? By the way, did you watch the presidential debate?
I watched the first 20, 25 minutes of it. And then after that, my decision, I think, is already made. And watching the first, half hour of it or whatever, I realized that it just solidified it, and I'm in. What did you come away with?
It was, I'm still, like I said, I'm still neurotic here. I voted Democrat for the last 20 years, although I'm totally like, especially in foreign policy, I'm so sick of like, all these dumbass wars that Trump would seem to be my guy. So I was giving him a chance, like as long as he sounded like a sane person, and he didn't.
Oh, we lost one.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to vote for Hillary or not vote.
Oh,
I'll have to
God.
see. Although there's a part of me that really wants to see the Trump presidency. It would be just pure chaos. I mean,
I
every
think
time
so.
every time he goes to a new city, there's going to be, Mexican militias trying to attack the stage. I mean, it would be very entertaining.
Yes,
But
yes.
well, you're a very hardworking businessman, Steve, who doesn't really have a lot of sympathy for all the layabouts like myself. So it's understandable that you're a Trump guy.
I was. What he was talking about taxes and how businesses are leaving the U.S. and going to China
Right?
and Mexico because
He's right about all that.
yeah, we don't have
Although he
a
doesn't,
import tax,
I
so why
don't
wouldn't
think.
they? I mean, a business doesn't care; it just wants to make money. That's its whole purpose.
Right.
And we see this here in L.A. Well, hell, here in town, Haas Automation, a big manufacturing company, is leaving and going to Texas because the California taxes are too much, and people here locally are like, "Oh, how could they leave? This is good income for the city." They don't give a shit. They just want to make money. And if
Sure.
they know that they can make 7% more just by hopping over to another state, they don't give a shit. They're leaving, And I think it's the same principle here generally for us as a nation. So it,
Well,
I
we're not
think
going
that
to.
if a
Yeah.
billionaire can't turn around our economy, then we're screwed. But if anyone can, I think he could. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't think it'll really affect us too much here on the local level, who the president is. But
Right.
no matter who it is, I'm either going to play the game of writing off anything and everything in my taxes, which is the game I play now. It's a big headache, but you do whatever you got to do. Or you're going to play the game of everyone pays 20%, and that's just all there is to it. And that would be far simpler, I think, but
Sure.
whatever, you know.
Yeah, he just, like Hillary was asked about the email scandal, and she's like, "I made a mistake," which to me is like a sign of like good character. When you fuck up, you admit it. And like Trump, he's just incapable of ever looking critically at anything he's ever done or said.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a serious character flaw on my part. Like they asked him about the whole Obama birther thing, and he just won't give it up.
Obama what?
The Obama birth, Trump's campaign to prove that Obama wasn't born in the United States.
Oh, I haven't heard about this. This is a good one.
You didn't even know about this?
No.
This is Steve, you are so fucking out of it. It's
Oh,
just
Jesus. I need to watch more news. I really do.
but anyways, and Trump is like finally saying, okay, yes, Obama was born in the U.S., but then he's going off on some tangent about how one of Hillary's campaign aides like went on a trip to Africa to stir up this thing, and he's basically that he has no responsibility for this discourse. And I don't know, it was cringe-inducing from my perspective. But anyways, I still don't know heading in. Just to piss my family off. My family's like really liberal. My brother's like, I don't know if I can even talk to you again if you vote for Trump. My sister, the whole family's just far left. So just to piss them off and show some measure of autonomy. It's funny.
Honestly, I think no matter how you and I vote, it's not going to affect the. California always gets the Democrat for the electoral, so
well, that's true.
It pretty much doesn't matter. But I'd like to see Trump win. I'm curious to see if our deficit right now is probably 18 to 20 or 21 million, something like, or 21 trillion, something like that. And if he can anyway reverse that, I would look at
Hillary
it as a success.
Hillary had a good zinger for that one when he's talking about that. She's like, well, if the rich like you avoid paying taxes, That's the situation we find ourselves in, because that's what generally, what people think here, that Trump has been hiding here, that he's just been avoiding paying income taxes, and the government's been on him for that. But
well, that's the game they force you to play. If it was just a straight percentage across the board, then there would be no writing off this gray area. You know what I mean? It's like I told my accountant. I said, there's black and white, and then there's kind of a gray area. I'm like, write off as much as you can, but don't cross that line into the other one, but be a little bit aggressive on it. You know what I mean? Because that's the game they force you to play. One of my buddies has his own business, and he wrote his wife into it as like the executive manager or something, and set up a 401k so that most of their profits go into her 401k and they don't have to pay taxes on it. Like, that's the game they force you to play. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you just pay, that at the end of the year, if you made $100,000, 20% of that is going to repave the streets and keep the country safe. Well, then, cool, But if they force you to do all these little loopholes and stuff just so that you don't have to pay 40 or 45% and you can get it down fairly to 15 or something, then that's what you got to go for,
Fair enough, Steve. Fair enough.
Yeah. We'll agree to disagree.
You're one of the good Trump supporters, as opposed to the 93% who are. Although I felt less bad about liking the. A lot of the professional poker players like Trump, which I think was kind of interesting. Even though they're all kind of California, get high and hang out kind of dudes. You know what I mean? They also.
They were for him?
Yeah, they're also kind of anti-Washington too, so it's kind of interesting. Anyway, Steve, just get that out of the way there.
Yes. Okay, strategy hand. Okay, this was a $200, I believe, buy-in at the local casino down here.
Okay.
We're very early into the tournament. Let's see, it starts at 5,100 and we're at 100-200, so we're on the second level.
Okay.
Everyone has about 10K in chips. Some guys may have 11,000, others 12, some 9, but no one's gone out, or there haven't been any big pots yet in the first level. And we're just starting the second level.
The second level is 100-200, so this moves fast, this tournament.
This moves quick. It's
20 or 30-minute levels?
It's closer to 20, I think. It could even be 18, but I think it's 20. So they're quick levels.
Okay.
And we are 8-handed here. Under the gun folds, and hero, we are under the gun +1. So we have 7 players total left, including us. And we've got Queen Jack of Spades. And we're under the gun +1. Blinds are 100-200. What general table is passive. No one's been real aggressive.
Yep, definitely an open.
Okay, I thought so too. I made it 600. From this spot, I'll make it between 5 and 6 most of the time. This time I chose 6. Middle position calls. Okay. Button calls. Small blind folds. And the big blind looks down and he tosses in a quick call. Okay. So we got 2,500 in the pot. We're going to be second to act because the big blind called.
There were 3 callers. I thought you said there were 2 callers. No, did I miss who?
Middle position called, button called, and then the big blind called.
Oh, the button called too. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and then the big blind called. So we got 2,500 in the pot, and the flop is Ace, Queen, 5, offsuit.
Do you have the backdoor spades, or was there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember, but I don't think I did. And big blind checks. I take that back. Big blind checked in the dark before the flop came out. Big blind checked in the dark.
Well, somebody's going to have an ace a fair amount of the time. So, I mean, I'm very stubborn here. I'm c-betting such a wide percentage.
I was very torn on this. I didn't know what the right move was, to c-bet or to not. The check in the dark by the big blind, and that to me felt like something that he knows he's going to hit or not. Something like he's got a small pocket pair that he knows he's going to get a set or not, or something that's pretty easy to play, like a small suited connector or like a weak ace or something like that. You know, something that he's either going to know he's going to hit the flop or not. That's kind of how I took that check in the dark, was that, like, you know, there's enough people to act behind him. If he hits, someone's probably going to bet, so he can either raise or make a decision then, or he can just check and then somebody's going to bet and he can easily let it go. That's kind of how I took that check in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really be trying to range him here or reading much into that. Some people just like to do that. So yeah, I'm not sure how that would really change my view on here if that's increases more. I mean, the way I just look at it here is if you bet 1150, if you do it 3 times and only works once, you've made 100 chips.
Yeah.
But I don't know, especially in this thing, which is essentially a turbo, which, you know, within like an hour, it's going to be, you know, the starting stack is going to be like 17 bigs or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you could save it, but I don't know, one and done maybe. And
my thought here was if I bet, because I think only people are never folding an ace, right? If we make one C bet, they're never folding an ace, no matter how weak it is, right?
No.
Okay. I figured if we bet here, we're never getting an ace to fold, but we are getting worse hands to fold, which is not what I want. And the only card I really don't want to see on the turn, I think, is a king. I figured I would check, and if anyone bet behind me, I'll probably just let my hand go. Maybe depending on how they bet, I might call. But yeah, I decided to check just because I thought that better hands are calling and worse hands are folding, and that's not what I want.
Worse hands are also c-betting and stealing the pot from you.
Sometimes. True, which kind of lines up the check and then decide if you want to call or
not. Yeah, I guess especially these $200 tournament at the local casino. The person with pocket nines, or you know some Jack King, let's just say, is not when check 2 going to bet that often. They're just going to be grateful that they get to see another card to maybe hit their set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might not even be thinking then they might not even be thinking, oh, this guy, the opener doesn't have an ace, I can steal this thing. I mean, it's hard to say the level of the competition.
It's pretty soft.
Right. I still think a c-bet's profitable. I think it's going to take it down, like I say, enough that you've been making money off it. But okay. I don't dislike the check, especially if you think they're only going to bet an ace.
Okay.
Because then you can check call the turn pretty easily.
I don't think they're going to only bet an ace. I think you're right. I think they'll bet any. I think the 2 guys behind me, if I check, I think they're going to bet a queen. And someone might get kind of funky with, like, maybe the button, if he called with like 5-6, for bottom pair, he might bet a 5 there, being all the way checked to. He may. But
yeah, I don't know. Like, I think
if they have an ace, I think they're definitely betting.
They're probably checking behind the pairs quite a bit. It's the total crap they're betting, like the 10-9 suited, which just has very little equity, backdoor straight kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of times 4-way pot, everyone's thinking, oh, somebody has an ace here.
Yeah, and then nobody does.
So I just don't want to invest any chips in it. But yeah, maybe the check's better, especially if you describe the table as pretty passive. Everybody will check behind, and then it's an easy check call on the river. On the turn, if anyone wants to bet at it. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right, I check, middle position checks, and then the button checks. So checks all the way through with the big blind checking in the dark. Again, we've got Queen Jack suited, and the board is Ace Queen 5. The pot at 2,500. And the turn is another 5. So the board now is Ace, Queen, 5-5. I didn't write down the suits, so I don't think that there was any flush draws out there. Or I'm pretty sure I would have written an XX, whenever there's a flush draw.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's rainbow at this point. I just don't remember. But the big blind, he does not choose to check in the dark before the turn comes out again. This time he reaches down and he's one of those players that has all his 25 chips in one stack, all his black chips, the 100 chips in another stack, and then the 500s and the thousands. And he grabbed one 500 and he tossed it in. The big blind did.
Well, it's hard to fold to that bet, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. I call, right? Well, are we ever raising here? Or?
I was going to say, maybe it's not a bad spot to raise. But on the other hand, I guess this would be one of those spots. If you raise him, he's always folding. He's never folding better. But I don't, occasionally he will fold a crappy ace. So, yeah, I mean, the purpose to raise would just be to keep someone else from squeezing behind you, making a move, which you would have to fold. If you just call, then someone else could say, hold on a second here, make it 3,000, then you just have to fold. Where if you make it 18, 1900 here, I don't know. I get pissed off by those small bets. That's the one temptation I have to. I guess probably just call is best, although there's probably some merit in raising.
Okay. I end up calling, and my reason, I don't think these guys behind me are going to squeeze. I think they're fit or fold. I think they don't really, at least during the first level, they seem pretty passive. Right. I don't really see any guys squeezing.
I think you're right. What do we make of this guy's bet size, though? What's he doing with 7-5 there? Is he? I guess if he thinks no one has an ace, then he's just trying to get someone with a queen to call, and to do that, he has to bet small. Is that?
I think so. I kind of read him at this point where he's got an ace or a 5, but it's so effing cheap. I mean, I'm getting, there's 2,500 in the pot. It's only 500 for me to call, and I'm guessing the guys behind me, if they have anything on this, King Jack, King 10, gut shots, Jack 10, all those are calling. I think most of the time he has an ace just because there's more aces out there, and some of the time he has a 5. There's not as many combinations of 5 out there as there is of aces. I'm kind of looking at it like I got to outdraw.
Well, if you're on a draw, then it's a fold.
You think so?
Yeah, even getting well, first of all,
let's see. It's 2,500 in the pot. He bet 5, so it's 3,000 in the pot now, and 500 for me to call. So that's like 6-1.
Well, yeah, I mean, but if you knew for sure he only had an ace or a 5, I still don't think you're getting the price, and there's no guarantee you're going to get paid off.
If I hit.
And yeah, if he's got a 5, then you don't even have the jack's not even any good.
Yeah, then
you're only drawing a 2 out, so you're only 5%, 1 in 20 to win. Yeah, maybe fold is just the best. Save those chips. It's a weak, passive table. You're going to steal a lot of chips later on. That wasn't my first instinct, but the more I think about it, maybe that's the best move.
Maybe you're right. I end up calling, and then the middle position folds, the button calls.
Okay.
So the total pot now is 4K, and on the river it comes an 8. So the final board now is ace, queen, 5, 5, 8. And we've got queen, jack for second pair. And the big blind, instead of reaching to his 1,000 or his 500 chip stack, he reaches to his 1,000 chip stack and throws out 1,000. So 5K in the pot, it's 1,000 for us to call with the button behind.
What was the button's calling range on the flop? I guess I don't know what he would have. I mean, on the turn.
On the turn, a queen. Maybe he might even call with. I would say like broadways.
Well, I don't even know if I think maybe he's just got a crummy ace that he didn't want to get all his chips with, and that's why he didn't bet the flop. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The guy who's donk leading, that could be a worse queen, which is annoying. That could be queen. Yeah. That could be queen 9 or queen 10 sometimes. Like he's doing the blocker bet. He doesn't want to have to call a big bet.
Yeah.
So he throws out the small bet. But even if you call that and you're right there, you still are beat not infrequently by the button, who's got some crummy aces in his range.
Yeah.
Or even a big ace that he just wanted someone to make a move with on the turn, but it turns out the board paired, so he's just, pot controlling and playing it small. Yeah, I don't know, Steve. In a heads-up pot, I think I call. With another player behind you, I think I'm leaning towards a fold here.
Yeah. Okay. I end up folding. It just felt to me like he had an ace or a 5, and I end up folding, and then the button folds, and he shows ace deuce. So he had a weak ace in the big blind.
Okay.
So I think the fold was on the turn, but I mean, if I was right on the turn and he's only betting there with an ace or a 5, then that's a fold, right?
Yeah, you'd think if he was trying to steal it, he would have to be betting a little bigger.
Yeah.
But he didn't love his hand for sure.
That's true.
So there is a chance that if you raised, he would have folded. I don't really know how great a chance that was. You might have to go 2 streets with it, and who knows if you really want to get into that nonsense here. If you made it 20.
That's kind of what I was thinking, was maybe like raise the turn. If I'm really reading him for that, like raise the turn and see, but then he's probably just gonna call there with a 5 as well, or you think he'll get it in? Because then you can easily fold to a re-raise on the turn, or to a what would that be? He bet, I raise 4 bet. But if he just calls there with a 5, then if he checks the river, you got to go with it to get him off the ace.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks. I guess it looks like exactly. I mean, I get these spots all the time where I have third pair, and the guy just bets really small in the river, and you call his hand exactly. You know what I mean? On the ace 10 5 4 3 board when you've got whatever 10 jack, and you're like, okay, he's got queens or kings. He's the pre-flop aggressor, and he's just he's trying to get a little value / blocker bet. And God damn it, if I just raised the flop, I would have taken this thing down before. And now, well, I could still maybe take it down if I jam, but I don't have the heart for it. Okay, let's just fucking call and hope he's bluffing. And he has,
And he's got the ace, or he's got the kings every time.
He has second pair, and you've got third pair. So those spots, I feel like I do not play well. And yeah. As often in our strategy discussions, we don't necessarily have the answer, but we know that
we just reiterate that we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Who do have the answer. This is where, Steve, you slide in a promo for Tournament Poker Edge.
Yes, it is.
Because those guys actually have something meaningful to say in this spot, other than, hey, Steve, was he leaning back or was he leaning forward?
Have you watched the new one that Danny Noseworthy has put out?
I have 109?
No. That's a good one. I like that one. I watched the full series on Dylan and Mark. Have you seen that one?
That was a good one. That was
a good one. Yeah, that was a really good one. Mark won it without a HUD. I can't believe he did that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing there, I gotta say.
Yes.
I would be out of my element doing that, but
do you have any hands?
I do not, Steve.
No.
I'm sorry. I did not come prepared for this. Like I said, this was last minute. We can just give what do we got coming down the pipe on this show, Steve? We got some good ideas here, right?
We've got Alex Fitzgerald's coming on.
Oh, you got Alex to come on.
Well, he said he would come on, yeah. But I haven't ironed out a day yet. But yeah, nice. Alex will be coming on. Let's see. Who else would you like to have on? We should have Scott Stewart back on.
Am I invited for the Alex episode, Steve?
Of course. Okay. I wouldn't want to do it without you.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think it's time for a Carlos return here. Now that he's moved to the West Coast and he's got his life organized in an interesting way. Let's just say
he does. He does.
He lives in some weird ass part of Nevada during the week, and then goes to Vegas for the weekends, and So bring him on. And
now, is he still living out of his van, or did he actually get a room?
He's got a room, I believe, 4 or 5 nights a week. He found a place that's $20 a night.
Oh, wow.
$20 a night with, a good pool.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which is, it's actually a decent place. It's just, and it's just cheap.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to ask Carlos, but Assassinato, man, yeah, he's got a new poker book out. And yeah, I'm sure we'll I'd be very interested to hear about that whole process and what he thinks about the book.
Yeah.
If he likes the final product.
Right on. Yeah, so that's who we got coming up. I want to get Doug back on too, and I definitely want to get Scott Stewart after his third ring there. I think is that his third or fourth?
Oh, I don't know how many. This was not a ring event. This was.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, okay.
This was a main event of a commerce series.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? And like I said, well, we can just have me on, Steve, talking about how I ship the Hawaiian Gardens 100K.
Yes. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Maybe I'll meet you down there.
And there also could be an interesting story if Carlos has 20% of me, how I find a clever way to stiff him there.
Is he buying a percentage of it?
Yeah, I think he's buying a piece
cool.
of me there. So
right on.
That's since he's not paying for himself, he wants the sweat,
Good deal. Maybe I'll do that. That'll I'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. What time's the tournament tomorrow? 4:00?
Yeah, 4 p.m.
Okay. I'll see how I'm feeling, and I'll either be joining you or buying a piece of you.
Okay, Steve. That sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for tuning in. Here is your weekly motivational speech.
It's never easy walking one way when the larger group is walking another. That's not rocket science. But it's also why so few people can do it. Let's face it, if you're going to do something of significance, you need to expect negativity. People trying to tear down what you're building up. Because like it or not, that's just how the world reacts. And the way I see it is that you can handle it a few ways. Right? You can live your life in a way that conforms, you can shy away from that criticism, or just take it head on. Learn to accept it, thrive on it. Because you'll never be able to please everybody. So why not have the courage to do what you believe in? Have the guts to be called abnormal. Take it as a compliment. I've mentioned before that the way you perceive something makes or breaks you. Think about how powerful that statement is in this context. You can look at the negativity, the haters, as a reason to change your approach, throw the towel. Or you can see it as a sign of progress, an anticipated part of your journey. You can use it as a building block or a stepping stone for further success. Those are two polar opposite outcomes, by the way, all derived from how you choose to internalize the world around you. When you get through it all, you'll be happy you hung in. I can promise you that. That you had the guts to look past the norms in your surroundings. That you had the guts to be something different.